We're group three, and this is our $300 house challenge. I'm Joseph, along here with PJ and Max. So the $300 house project is the goal to build affordable housing for those who may need it in the US or other undeveloped countries. Many forget about those who are less fortunate. This is why it is important to give to those a proper living space. There are many obstacles and issues when taking on this task, as you can see in this video.
The last 10 or 20 years, there's been very little production in all spectrums of housing, and multifamily is a big chunk of that. And as demographics have changed, and we've got an aging baby boomer population, along with an economic cycle that is more likely to have people relocate and move, I think people need to be more flexible with where they live, and multifamily's been beneficiary of that in a sense, but it's also hurt the supply side as the economy wasn't allowing a lot of production, and now we're paying for that. It's still a supply and demand problem, and people like to say we can't build our way out of it. I tend to argue that a little bit from your Econ 101. If you're not building enough and there's excess demand, you're going to have pressure on prices.
So the $300 house project is an assignment in which we have to build a functional space for a person with little or no income to live comfortably, with working electricity, water, and can last up to at least 50 years. As a group, we found that there are many different ideas and ways we could accomplish this task. The need for affordable housing is rising with our growing population, so solutions like this one are important. However, it wasn't as easy as one may think. As we went through this project, we ran into many problems, such as what materials would be readily available for such a low price. Would these materials not only be cheap, but also last the 50-year time requirement, as well as how to provide power and water not only safely, but cheaply, and also how to create a visual representation of what we were thinking, our ideas.
Hello, I'm PJ, and I was the designer and architect for this project. I made sketches for the initial design, and starting off, we tried to figure out the most affordable floor plan, which is sketched out in the top left corner, and we decided it would be 6.5 by 6.5 feet. After figuring out dimensions for the plan, we decided the placement and dimensions of the furniture, which include a desk and a bed, and doors and windows in the sketches. For the placement, we decided on one door at the front, one window at the side, a desk along the wall of the window, and a mattress along the back wall. Eventually, we did incorporate a sink, which will be across from the desk, which you'll see later. And we decided for walls that they would be 6 inches thick, with a front wall height of 8 feet and a back wall height of 7.5 feet. And for the roof, we decided on a slanted roof. Next up is the SketchUp model. And I made this for the project, working with Max and Joseph to communicate the dimensions and materials for the house. You'll see that we have a brick wall and some asphalt roofing, which will be touched on later. And far left is the back view of the house. The center is from the top, and the far right is the front. Next up is Joseph with the cost estimate.
So for our cost estimate, we had a fairly simple list of materials. To start off, the roofing, we decided to go with a corrugated asphalt roofing. This is not only cheap, but it's also very durable. Next, for our window, we went with an 18 by 24 inch clear plastic sheet. We figured not only is plastic extremely durable, it's also extremely easy and cheap to make. As for our mattress, desk, and door, we plan on getting both the mattress and desk donated, as well as the door maybe reclaimed from an old construction site or old building. For our floor, we decided to go with a combination of both a moisture vapor barrier as well as a low gloss finish vinyl sheet. This isn't exactly a conventional floor, as we planned on compacting the dirt beneath it and setting that moisture barrier and then the gloss finish sheet on top. As for the walls, we decided to go with bricks as they're very cheap to get reclaimed from old buildings, warehouses, construction sites. Bricks are fairly common and easy to come across, as well as concrete for the mortar. is very cheap as well. Also extremely durable. The sink we planned on having donated, and then the solar power system, as long as the outlet, receptacle, and electrical wiring, we found for $25.93, and this just planned on having as to power our systems and power any devices that our residents may have, as well as the water tap and rain collection. Those are just to collect water, so the resident has the ability to fill up water containers, take a shower, any other water related things. So here's visuals of what our brick plans to look like, as well as corrugated asphalt roofing. And then the farthest to the right, the moisture barrier, that's what we plan on having as our flooring.
All right, hi, I'm Max, and my task for this assignment was to create a model of our house in Revit to show a more detailed and rendered version of our ideas. Initially, with this project, I was very intimidated with the task, having only done one other Revit project, the Walmart project, prior in the semester before doing this project. I soon learned that by consulting Solid Professor with the many Revit instruction videos, along with other web outlets that taught Revit, that this model wouldn't be as hard as I imagined it to be to complete it. So first all, I started by establishing grid lines, as you can see in the furthest left image, where the house lays. Then, as common construction, you do flooring, walls, roof, and then doors and windows. So the most difficult part of this was being able to show the small scale of our house in a program that I presumed was usually used for larger projects. By creating sheets of the floor plan, elevations, and section views, I was able to use annotations to show the dimensions of the house. On the far left, we have the floor plan, which when looking closer, you can actually see the dimensions of the floor and the square footage of the house. To the right is the section views, which just show a cut version of the house that annotates the height of the back roof and the front roof, as well as you can see some of the utilities that we have inside, the bed and the sink. Next is the elevation views, and this kind of just shows a more basic view of our house from the outside. As you can see here, there's trees that have appeared on the property line. I felt like implementing some terrain details to make the project become more alive. You can also see the elevations and heights of the door, along with the front and the back wall from the north to the east elevations. Our 3D views and the high quality renderings that we were able to produce give a good representation of what our house would actually look like if it were to be constructed. Again, with the terrain features such as the trees, they just give the house more life from the north and south views of the 3D. Here are some of the high quality renderings we were able to produce on Revit, and I think they turned out really well, and they give the house good color in what would be natural sunlight. From the left, you have a view of the window, the one window that we have in the project, which is the 18x24 plastic sheet. In the middle is just another basic rendering of the house to show it from the other side. And on the bottom right, we were actually able to get an interior rendering with artificial lights that just show basically what the interior would look like. And overall, this Revit model, I believe, and my group believes, it was able to bring our project to life, and we're happy to present it here. Thank you.
Here is our poster, and from the top left, you can see our overview, which reinforced our goal of creating a cheap, durable, and sustainable house for people who can't afford proper housing. And next up is the sketch that was created to conceptualize the house. Then the SketchUp model is right after that, which was basically the basis for our model. And on the bottom left, you can see the cost and materials, which were used to determine the cost and affordability of the house. And then here we have the final plans, which practically brought the entire project together, and the final model as well with the renderings. And as it says here, overall, we were pretty satisfied with our project, and we managed to make it both affordable and durable for the residents. As for the final thoughts, we were able to complete the project in a timely manner and we finished slightly over the budget, but we did gain skills in using programs such as Revit and SketchUp to aid us in conceptualizing the house. Overall, we were able to understand the process and roadblocks in regards to this project, and we thank you for listening to our presentation.